Hello everybody and welcome back to another random video by me, Left to Live. And as a normal random video, this will just be about something that I like and something that I just felt like doing. And this video is going to be my goodbye video to Life is Feudal MMO, the Epleland server. Some of you might have heard about this game, some of you might have played this game and will know what I'm talking about. So, a few days ago they decided to pull down the Epleland server that I have been playing on for about 2 years. The reason was because there was very few players still playing on it and it was not longer profitable for them. They did not make any money from this to pay for the server and then to take that money from their other profits from the big map Gardenland. When they released Gardenland, we had about 340 players left on Epleland. And when Gardenland came, well, of course a lot of people would just switch. Because who would not like to play on a fresh map, 3 times the size, and just meet everyone else from the other servers that had been cancelled and shut down a few months earlier. Well, not a few months earlier, they were shut down a week before Gardenland was released. So this is just me showcasing my guild, Knights of the Eclipse, or KOE, as her tag was, that I made with my friends that I met when I started playing the game. Our origin was that when I started playing this game, I joined with a guild called Ragnarok Vikings. But I did not really like that leader, he was a maniac basically. We were not allowed to own anything, he was the only one allowed to have money in the game. We had to ask permission for whatever we wanted to craft and make. And he was a bandit basically. He could just ride up to someone, demand to get all this stuff because it was in his territory. He was just rude to everyone. And we're pretty abusive because when we talked with each other in the Discord chat, he could just jump in from his royal chamber, as he called it, and start yelling at us to shut up because he was going to speak. And then he cursed at us and complained about us and insulted us every single time he opened his mouth. So I was with that guild for about 2 weeks maybe, learned the ropes of Epleland, got some crafting skills and combat skills, and it was a pain in the butt to get the skills I had when I left, because I wasn't allowed to make weapons, because weapons needed leather and he did not want to give that out freely, or even half freely. So I had to argue with him for like half an hour, say, hey, I need leather to make this knight sword so I can train the knight skill. Yeah, fine, take the crappiest stuff you can find. So I did, made my sword, was going to train, so I asked, can you make some repair kits for me so I can train for an hour? He said, yeah, give me the materials and I'll make it. Wow, he was kind, I thought. I farmed for a few hours to get everything needed, gave it to him, he crafted about 100 of them, and he gave me 4. So I could train for 25 minutes, when I needed for 1 hour. Yay. And he also was declaring war on those who didn't study with him. He was very hostile and a very toxic player in general. So I started to basically plot with some of the other members that I felt that I could trust, and they were not really into him as well. They did not like how he was leading or even liked him as a person. So I had 2 friends who I said, can't you go out there and look for a place for us to live? Pretty much a blank area with not too much population, so we can just try to build in a bit of secrecy. Yeah, okay. A few hours later they sent me a screenshot. How about this place? On top of a hill, good visibility all over the place. Sure, let's take it. So they left, and Sigurdar, the guild leader, he was like, oh, why is people leaving? And he grew paranoid, he revoked rights, so not anyone but him in the end could do anything. If you wanted food, you had to ask him to give you food. If you came back with stuff, you were supposed to give it to him and he would store it. So when everything was settled in Knights of the Eclipse, I left with some other guys and we basically left the guild. And when he came back, it was only him, 2 new guys and 3 other guys. And 3 of those guys left as well, but they didn't leave with us because they wanted to ask permission to leave. Sigurdar quit. We rejoiced because we had our own place. I was leading them good. Everyone was happy. So we started to build our area, and about that time a Russian guild called Play Hard started to harass the smaller guilds. And they basically made enemies with the entire server. There were a lot of battles revolting around Play Hard. We were participating in most of them. And we won most of them. So after about 5 months, we got Play Hard to actually leave the server together with most of the players who had been supporting them from other guilds. It was also about that time they released another guild, another server called Epleland, so a lot of players went over there. And when I started, it was about 2,500 players online on a daily basis. After this 5 months war, it was about 1,500. So in 5 months, they had lost about 1,000 players. And it kept dropping, because after the Play Hard war was over, the bandits started to roam around and they killed basically everyone they saw. You had just joined the game, you just arrived to this server, Epleland. Boom, you got killed by a bandit. How fun is that? You had just started a nice little settlement with your friends. Oh look, bandits! You got killed. Over and over. And that dropped the player base to about 800. In a few months. And then it kept dropping steadily each month. We lost more and more players. At the beginning of this year we had about 300 barely online on a daily basis. And a few months ago they thought, okay, we're going to take down all servers except for Epleland to prepare for the release of Gardenland, which was or is 3 times bigger server than Epleland. And they did in February, I think it was. And boom, we went from barely 300 online on a daily basis to below 40 to 50. Yeah. And we've basically been at that player base for, well, ever since. And the reason a lot of people are quitting this game is because it's extremely grindy. Now it's a little better with skill progression, I'll admit. Easier to level up, but before it was a pain in the butt. But players don't like the grind. You have to basically play and grind for hours to be able to make a house. If you're new, sure, it's easy if you make a hut, but who wants to live in a hut? And just this keep that we have, I mean, we were about 5 players left when we made this place, and I spent about 2 weeks playing quite non-stop for hours a day to get granite for this place. It was not fun. But yeah, I spent 2 years here, I'm happy. I'm a bit sad that it's going to go, because I met so many nice people in this game. All from the guys I started with to the guys I met along the way. I've played with Turks, Americans, Norwegians, Danish, well, basically all the Scandinavian countries, which was nice because I'm Swedish. And I've even met people from Turkey, Hungary, Portugal. It has been a great journey, and I'm sad to see that it has come to an end. But I hope that the next game I'm interested in and playing is going to be just as fun as this, and I will make new memories there. So as usual, when it's my videos, here comes the end, I will just say, stay prepared and stay alive, my friends. And I hope that you will have a game that you love as much as I loved this.